Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video we are going to set up our UI. So let's go to our main screen and add the UI elements that we are going to need. But before that, I'm going to add some components here inside the UI package. I'll create a new package named components. I want to copy and paste it here. We will have a chat section which will be a lazy column of list of chat items that I'll add it to my utils here. It's simple as a text of type string and a boolean that it shows if it's mine, stick it to the left, if it's not, stick to the right for the target. So let's import it here. Let's add these items from compose.lazy.items. Now you can see we have a list of chat items that will receive a list of chat items and shows a list of items down to each other. And the next component is SurfaceViewRenderer, which is a simple frame layout that creates a SurfaceViewRenderer from WebRTC library. And whenever it's ready, we want to use the callback here on surface ready and make the user notified that the surface is ready so we are able to proceed. And if there is a message to show like looking for a match or ideally not looking for a match, we should be able to show it on top of the surface. Otherwise, we simply want to preview this Android view and along with SurfaceViewRenderer. Now let's go back to our main screen and add everything we need here. I'll just copy and paste it here. So let's import this SurfaceViewRenderer. I'll also add the drawables to my source. Let's copy and paste it here. As you can see, we have some functions required for our view model and of course some states that we should be add in a second. But for now, let's comment the view model functions that we need for now. Okay, now let's add these states, which is match state and chat state. Of course, let's go back up here. So match state is going to be view model dot match state and collect as state, and chat state is going to be view model chat state that I don't have, chat list collect as state that I'll create right now. So down here, our chat list is going to be mutable state flow of list of chat items, which is going to be simply mutable list of simply some empty mutable list. So we should be able to have some function. The first one is add chat item. It should receive the new chat item. You want to receive the current list and add the new chat item to current list and update the chat list new value. Then private fun reset chat list. All it does is restart the value or clear the value of the chat list. And the next one is send chat item. We want to add the chat item to the list and simply use view model scope.launch Firebase clients, update participant data model. Participant ID is going to be a participant ID of the target that we will store inside our view model, and the data is going to be signal data model. Type of it is going to be signal data model types.chat, and the data is going to be new chat item dot text. So we want to have this participant ID up here. For now, we'll use test participant. So using this send chat item, we are able to add this item to the list and send it to the other target. Let's go back to main screen, and now we have this chat state. Below that, we want to use chat text. This one is remember of mutable state of some simple string. This one will hold the value inside the text field. So let's scroll and see what do we have here. We are going to have a box that holds a surface view renderer. This one is the remote surface view renderer. And we will check for the message if we want to show this message that's not looking for match, press start. And if we are looking for match, we want to show looking for match message on top of the surface. Otherwise, we don't want to show anything. We should be able to show the surface view renderer itself, just like this part, looking for match. And below that, we have the chat section, of course, and the chat items is going to be chat state.value. If you remember, the chat state is chat list inside our view model. So we have chat state here, and down here we have this section, which is going to be created from a surface view renderer, which is a local surface view renderer, and of course this switch camera icon here, that the click listener of it will switch the camera. And then down here the chat part, that we will create a new chat item and send the chat item. And down there, this stop and next button. So our UI is pretty much set up. Now it's time to add the view model functions that we recently made it as the comment. Now let's go ahead and start with init remote surface view. Let's create this function inside this view model. We use WebRTC factory, which I don't have here. Let's add it inside my view model, private val WebRTC factory. Go down here, init surface. We simply want to pass renderer to it. And of course, we want to store this renderer or this surface as the remote object, because we want to show the received stream later inside this remote surface. So let's go up here and add this remote surface here. It says that we might lead to field leak. So I know how to handle it. You have to clear this one inside uncleared method of view model. So remote surface dot release and make it null. Simple as that. Let's go back to our main screen. We are set up with this one. What's the next one that we commented here? So start local stream. Let's create it inside the main view model. All we need to do is use WebRTC factory and press prepare local stream, pass the renderer to it. Let's go back to our main screen. What's the next one? Is switch camera. Let's create this function. We use the WebRTC factory and pass switch camera. We don't have these functions inside our WebRTC factory. Let's create it. We use the video capture and simply switch camera, just like that. So the next one is send chat item. We have this function already. And the next one is stop looking for match. Let's create this function. So we launch a view model scope log. We simply reset chat list. We want to check if our match state that value is equal to match state that's connected. It means we are in middle of the call with the participant. So we have to be responsible for its status. So we should be update the status of the target. So update participants model. We have the participant ID, of course, from the previous session, and pass status data model to it. The type of it is going to be a status data model looking for match. So if we are in middle of the call with someone, we should be updating the participants status to looking for match. And of course, we have to update self status to ideally, not looking for match, ideally. It means we are not looking for any sort of matches. Now we are set up for the main screen, but inside ViewModel, we should know something like setting up the peer connection and using the signals to set up the peer connection. So first thing to do inside our ViewModel right now is to create a function that knows how to set up the peer connection or set up the RTC connection. I'll go down here and create a function named setup RTC connection, which will receive a participant of type string, and it will return RTC client, a nullable RTC client. First thing to do is use run catching and destroy the current RTC client that I don't have here. Let's go up of our class and create private var RTC client of type RTC client and make it null initially. Down here, we wanna use onDestroy on it, make it null. It's time to re-instantiate it using WebRTC factory and create RTC clients. For the observer, I'll use anonymous class of type myPeerObserver, and for the listener, I'll use anonymous class again using RTC client implementation and the callback. So let's import these functions here and remove these to-dos. And after creating these RTC clients, we want to return RTC clients. So let's go up here and see what do we have to do inside this peer observer. We are overriding an ICE candidate, which is responsible for generating ICE candidate. Check if the generated ICE candidate is not null. Simply use RTC clients and use onLocal ICE candidate generated. Pass it to it. And for an add stream is when we are receiving a stream. We want to check if it's not null. Use run catching and use remote surface. Get the non-null surface here. Use the video tracks of the media stream. Get the index of 0 and add sync to the surface. Simple as that. And for on connection change, which shows the status of the peer connection, you want to check if new state is equal to peer connection state that's connected. We want to launch a ViewModel scope and update self status to connected, actually status data model, and type of it is going to be connected, and remove whatever data exists in current user data field. And for the listener, whenever ICE candidate is generated, of course using ViewModel scope, launch a block. You wanna use Firebase clients and update participants data model. Pass the participant ID to participants, and the data is going to be signal data model. A type of it is going to be signal data model dot ice, and data is going to be JSON, which I don't have here. Let's go up here and add private val JSON to JSON. JSON, we simply want to pass ICE candidate to it. And for generating the session description, we want to use ViewModel scope.launch, use Firebase clients, update participant data model. Participant, of course, is participant. Type is going to be signal data model type that offer, and the data is going to be session description dot description, simple text. And almost the same goes for an answer generated. So we just make a signal data model. The type of it is going to be answer, and the data is going to be session description dot description. Now we know how to create our RTC client. Let's go up here inside the handle looking for match. We want to reset chat list, and RTC client pass on destroy. This one is useless here. And for handle sent offer, all we need to do is to save the participant ID to status.participant. And for incoming match case, we want to do the same. Save the participant ID to status.participant. This should be received match state. And what we do is set up our RTC connection, pass participant ID to it, and use also block to offer. So it means that if someone is receiving the match state, it should start the call right now. So this user will offer, and now it's time to go for incoming signal and check what we are receiving and what to do with the incoming signal. Let's use a when block, pass signal data model.type, and use the remaining branch. For the null, we don't do anything. For the offer, we want to create a function handle received offer SDP, pass the signal data model to it. Let's create this one. So it means that the second guy is receiving the offer. So it has to set up the RTC connection and pass the participant ID to it. Also, we know that it has a remote session description. So we use on remote session received, create a new session description. Type of it is going to be session description type offer, and the data is going to be signal data model, that's a data to a string. And then after receiving the session description, it's time to answer. So now this way we will generate the answer. So let's go back up here. If we receive the answer, we want to have a function named handler received answer SCP. So let's create this function. We're going to use RTC client and use on remote session received. Simply want to just create a session description. The type of it is going to be answer, and the data is going to be signal data model, that's data to a string. Now the next step is when we receive the ICE. So let's create the function handle receive ICE candidates. Let's create this function. Simply want to use run catching. Use JSON from JSON, pass signal data model, data to string. And for the blueprint, we use ICE candidate class from WebRTC class. If it's successful, you just wanna pass it to our RTC client using on ICE candidate received. And for the chats, of course, the last one, we will have a function name handle receive chats. Let's create this function. All you need to do is to add chat item, create a new chat item. Text is going to be signal data model dot data to string, and mine is going to be false because we just received this one. Now there is one more function left inside our main screen, which is find next match. Let's create this function. So all this function does simply destroys the current RTC clients, uses the viewModel scope to launch it. viewModel scope. We want to check if a match state dot value is equal to connected. It means we are in the middle of the call with someone else. So we again has to update participant status with the participant ID and the status data model to the type of looking for match. And same goes for ourself. Should update self status. The type of it is going to be looking for match. And also we should be able to call it as soon as the permission is granted, so the user doesn't have to press next button for the first time that loads the application. And the last thing is to go inside unclear and clear the things that we don't need. For example, undestroy for RTC client. Firebase client should be cleared, of course. And WebRTC factory should call the undestroy function to close the camera and microphone and everything that is open at the moment. So we should be good to go to test the application. Let's run the emulator and also bring the database in front. So on the first device, we have already granted the permissions. On the second one, let's press allow. You should be able to see that the status went from looking for match to received offer and received match. And then after exchanging some data like session description and ICE candidate, the connection is established now. So if you switch the camera, you can see that the camera is stopped. It's because inside our WebRTC factory, we missed some function. Instead of stop capture, we should write switch camera and pass null for the callback. So let's rerun our application and check the status and the data again. You should see they're looking for match, offered match, received match, exchanging data, and now they're connected. So let's switch camera. You can see the camera is switched successfully. Same goes for this one. If I press stop on the first device, you should be able to see that this user is becoming IDLE and the other one is looking for match. If I press start again, you can see we are finding the next target and connected the streams. And same goes for the chat. You can see the test or hello is being updated inside this user. This user is receiving them and showing the targets. So if I write something here, you'll see that they are chatting pretty much easy. And if I press stop again, you should be able to see both of the clients clear the chat. You don't want to watch the chat list from the previous user to the next one. If I press start again, you'll see that received match, offered match, and connected again. Press hello again. And everything is working awesome. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Hopefully you'll learn something from this. If you enjoyed this series, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share these videos to your friends to support the community. Also, if you want to hire me for doing your project like this, let me know. You can drop the comment inside the comment section below or direct message me inside the Telegram or Instagram with the username of CodeWithKael or email me at codewithkael@gmail.com. There are so many ways of contact. So that's it for this series. Till the next one, see you everyone. Enjoy.